Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to go on a pretty wild journey. It starts with a super common, kind of boring problem. How do you keep colors the same across a website? But it ends with a truly revolutionary idea for how we might just be able to control artificial intelligence.
Does this screen give you a headache? Because yeah, it should. On the left, that's the old way, the painful way. A designer changes the main brand color, and now some poor developer has to go on a scavenger hunt through the code looking for every single place that one color, #FF000, was used. It's a nightmare. It's slow, you always miss one, and it just creates chaos. But look at the right, the new way. A designer updates one single thing, this little variable called primary color, and boom. Instantly, every button, every link, every single part of the product changes. That is the magic we're talking about today. That's a design token. So how in the world does that actually work? Well, it all comes down to this idea of creating a single source of truth. One central, totally reliable place where every design decision is stored, so there's never any guesswork. And the hero of this whole system is the design token. If you strip it all down, it's really simple. It's just a variable with a name that holds a tiny piece of your design's DNA. So instead of just having a raw value like blue, you have a token, something like color primary. And that simple switch from a value to a name is what unlocks everything. But see, a token is way more than just a fancy name. Under the hood, there's this really elegant structure that lets designers and developers finally speak the same language. Let's dig into how that's built. This three-layer system is the real engine here. Just think of it like a tree. You start at the root, the brand layer. This is just the raw, unchangeable value, like the specific hex code for your brand's purple. Then you move up to the trunk, the alias layer. This is where you give that color a purpose. It's not just a random purple anymore, it's our primary.default color. And finally, you get to the branches, the mapping layer. This is where you tell that primary color what its job is, like, hey, you are going to be the background for our main button. See, from a raw value to a real-world job. And this, right here, is the magic. It's the bridge. For what feels like the first time, there's a real, unbreakable connection between some abstract idea a designer has, like our brand should feel energetic, and the actual, concrete code that a developer writes. Tokens connect those two worlds. Okay, so we've got it. Tokens are amazing for managing stuff we can see. Colors, fonts, spacing. But right here is where this whole story takes a huge leap. This is the pivot where we see this simple tool for designers become something much, much bigger. And this is the big what if. If a token can tell a button what color it should be, what's really stopping it from telling an AI what it is and is not allowed to do? Could we use the exact same logic to build guardrails for AI? And yep, that is the big idea. We can take this system that's already proven to work for design and just apply it to governing AI behavior. Instead of storing colors and fonts, we start storing things like policies, permissions, and rules as tokens. Now, I know that might sound a little bit out there, so let's make it real. Let's look at a few examples of how you could literally put an AI on a leash using these new kinds of tokens. First up, you've got governance tokens. Just think of these as digital guardrails. So here, we've made a token that sets a hard budget limit of $800 for booking a flight. If an AI agent tries to book a flight that costs $900, the system just reads this token and says, nope, not allowed, and it blocks the action. The rule isn't hidden away in thousands of lines of code, it's right there, a clear, readable token. Next, permission tokens. These are basically a privacy remote control that we hand directly to the user. In this case, the token permission.ai.canAccessContacts is set to false. So if the AI needs to send an email for you and tries to look at your address book, the system checks this token first. It sees false and stops the AI cold. It might even prompt you for one-time permission. The point is, you are in the driver's seat. And finally, there are state tokens, and these are all about transparency. You know how an AI often calculates how confident it is in an answer? By making that a token like state.ai.confidence equals 0.95, we can actually change how the UI looks and feels. If confidence is high, the AI gives a straight answer. But if it's low, maybe the AI says, I think the answer is... It stops the AI from being this mysterious black box, which is a huge step in building trust.
So when you take a step back and look at all this, you realize this isn't just a clever technical trick. No, this is a fundamental change in how we can approach designing for trust in this new age of AI.
So why does this all matter? It gives us 4 huge wins. First, you get automation and scalability, because these rules are just enforced automatically. Second, you get real transparency, because the AI's rules aren't a secret anymore. Third, you get consistency, so the AI behaves predictably every single time. And maybe the biggest win of all, it boosts collaboration, because now designers, managers, lawyers, and engineers can all speak the same simple language of tokens.
And all of that brings us to this final thought. We started this whole thing just by wanting a consistent color on a button. But in solving that simple problem, we may have stumbled upon a powerful new way to govern incredibly complex systems. And it leaves us with this one big question. If we can now encode our values and our rules directly into the DNA of our products, what kind of safer, more trustworthy AI are we going to build next?